Hi everyone. My name is Peng. I'm currently working overseas. I just came back last night. So yeah. So my experiences is like at each year of my NUS life, I try to learn something new. So my first year I did Ruby. Second year I did iOS. So now I'm doing React. So I'm just going to recap like what have I done last year. Okay. So first of all of you are using MacBooks, right? I mean, if you're using Windows, all the best for installing the VM. But I assume everyone using MacBook. Okay. 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 Have you registered for a developer account, the free one, not the paid one? Because you need the free one to install a developer profile on your iPhone, so that you can deploy to your iPhone. If not, you can only work on the simulator. So so here's the rough content. Supposedly there was a part 2, but I realized there's not enough time. Now I'll go through iOS programming, then like what is Swift, what is Xcode, and how to build a very basic application. So what exactly is iOS programming? It first started out with Objective-C, and it was just basically there was C, but it wasn't object-oriented. So Apple had this group of engineers and decided that let's make it object-oriented, and then it made C even more complicated. And it was a very well-paid job, like maybe 5-6 years ago, because this language was very hard to use. If you try to change a string, you can take like it's a super long line of code. And so after he passed away, they decided that we'll do something easier. So they redeveloped the whole Objective-C, and then they said that, oh, we discard this and we'll do Swift. But as I put, there's a Swift 3.0 here. So Swift 1, 2, and 3 actually are quite different in terms of their syntax and how it works. But basically, it's not the same in the Swift, but Swift is backward compatible with Objective-C. So it loads in all the Objective-C code. So all the apps you currently see today, they have a lot of Objective-C libraries that is supporting all its functions, but they are now regularly refreshed. So every year, Apple has this WWDC that is usually in the US, and they'll tell the developers, okay, you need to change this code to this line. By December, if you don't change, your app will crash. This kind of thing. So I mean, to attend the event is 1,700 USD, but you can always watch it free online. They live stream everything, and I was lucky to attend it last year because my company staked me in. And so it used to be extremely difficult. So as of last year, they introduced this playground thing that allow kids to start doing iOS. So it's relatively much easier than 5 years ago. So yeah, you can see this is a stupid way to change the string. Okay, so Swift was also made open source last year or 2 years ago, and this is the only available IDE that you can use to deploy native iOS apps in the native language. Of course, you have React Native, Ionic, a lot of all these. Basically, mostly wrappers except React Native, but React Native is a Facebook thing. If you're interested in that, it's pretty cool. In the future, I think that will take over everything because everything is in JavaScript. So, so what is exactly Swift? So in order to make it much easier, they have to redefine an entirely new language. So Objective-C was like, have you all done C programming before? Like all the stupid pointers, you know? And so now they remove all this and then come out with more modern type of way. So it's actually pretty similar to JavaScript. You have let, you have all this. It's just that it has a JavaScript has no like very not very strongly typed, but this is still very strongly typed. That you have defined string. What type of variable is this? And yeah, so basically Swift is very simple. I mean, this is just a few examples. Later as I go through like what are the different functions and methods in the iOS, you start to understand like why did they change it. Okay, so yeah, on top of that, Swift is supposed to be like for people, if you study Java, it will be easy to use. But it extracted a lot of like high level components of like a lot of certain OOP styles like have you all used like .mat, .tutor, .reduce? Yeah, something like functional programming methods that are used so that basically they want you to quit using loops anymore. And so previously in Objective-C, it's called NS string. So what does NS mean? Because Steve Jobs founded a company called NextStep, so just call their variable NextStep string. So after that, with Swift, they come up with this new string class. They look like the same, but when you pass the methods, the like .get, it will be .get something. There's some subtle differences. So if you don't change your code on time at the era, you'll have a crash like crazy. And however, the Xcode IDE is a very good IDE. It scans your entire code base and tell you where are the outdated codes. You can click one button to update them all, which will lead to another kind of crash. And so you have to do that manually still. So yeah, and then if you want to read more about how this higher order function works, later I'll send you all the link of the slides, so you can just go and view. So there's a lot of people who love Swift. So Swift now being open source, they are trying to become like another kind of JavaScript. So initially Swift can only be built on iOS apps. Now there are Swift servers, there are Swift web. There's a lot of wrappers that they use Swift to build in. If you want to understand more, actually, like in the iPhone, they use this LLVM compiler. It's like a assembly kind of language that translate your Swift code to the assembly language. If you like to know more, you can go to the iOS meetup website of the Singapore meetups, and they explain in very detail like all the Singapore iOS engineers, they actually share how this stuff work. Okay, so in order to build a very basic iOS app, you have to, you want to deploy, then you need to sign up. And each app is actually manually reviewed by a human at Apple HQ. So basically, if you want to submit an app, sometimes if you pull strings, it get approved quite fast. Like a lot of companies that work, their boss will know someone at Apple. They give them the call, you'll be approved in 3 days. If you don't, you'll be approved in 2 weeks. Because they have to manually test the app and see whether it's laggy, this kind of thing. Because they want to prevent something like Android Play Store where there's a lot of shit apps. So you can be declined for a lot of funny reasons, like I don't like your art is ugly, so you go and change it, yeah, kind of thing. And then your logo does not fit into the App Store. So a lot of things they are very restricted. So today we'll be going through like the default UI library kits that Apple actually provides. Yeah, so y'all have Xcode installed now, right? So y'all can open Xcode, create a new project, blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay, then yes, I'm going to read this. But basically, I could probably explain the types of application here. So a single view application is basically it performs a single function. You just go in and then there's just one page. These are usually for fun kind of apps that nobody actually uses. So for game, right, it's a very complicated one. Game you have to use. There's a lot of kits. You can see a metal library, a Cocoa Touch library, and a different kind of library. So in the metal library, there are functions like to do the physics engine for you, like gravity, this kind of thing. But I'm not that high level yet. So and then after that, most people actually do the tab applications. I mean, almost 80% of the apps you see on the App Store are just tab application. So just build that one and fill out the fields. You have you can write any fields except the identifier. It has to be unique. So try to put your name, because if you put something else, it will check with the server online and then realize that it crashes, and then it clashes, then it crashes. And then for devices, you can put in anything. Just don't pick the unit test and the UI test. You create a lot of extra files where you take another kind of module to actually learn how to do tests. So what does this identifier mean? So the identifier is like how they identify your app on the App Store. And it's quite funny, they actually do it in reverse. So this is like your organization, the identifier, your bundle, your it follows by your organization identifier, then your product name. So it goes to your organization, find your app. So if you have multiple apps under your organization, you change this and don't change this. Yep. So after you get created, you get this main screen. Are you at this main screen? I mean, it should be free.
Why did you choose iPhone and not Android?
you can choose it. Oh, for me, because I'm gonna deploy it on the iPhone. So okay, let me explain. So if you choose on the iPhone, when you submit the app is only reviewed under the iPhone. So your app will only appear on the iPhone App Store. So if you choose iPad, it will only appear on the iPad App Store. If you choose Universal, then your app will appear on both. But your project must know how to handle the two different kind of devices. So yes, so later I'll explain to you, like, these are storyboard files. Like each storyboard has a lot of semi categories. So if you do not set them properly, they will just reject your app straight away. So like most companies, what they do, they won't start with the Universal app. They will start with either an iPhone app, then an iPad app. Then they'll try to integrate both together, then they submit together. If not, it can lead to really a lot of problems. Yeah, so basically you choose iPhone for now for the simplicity's sake, because if I need to go through the other detail, it might get a little bit confusing. Yeah, so everyone can see this like file hierarchy, right? So basically the main files you'll be working on is just under this folder. So the app delegate is basically okay, all the Swift files are basically all the codes. All the storyboard files are all the XMLs. So if you all have done Android programming before, it's the same, right? Everywhere is used XML. It's except that in Xcode, they actually visualize everything for you. And you don't see like .xml, you really see .storyboard. But if you open in the code editor, it's all XML, and it's pretty confusing XML. Don't really want to open it. Unless you have a Git conflict, a merge conflict. So I'll explain each file step by step. So yep. Okay, before that, you see the blue color icon there. That's the project settings. So the project settings is actually where the most of the complicated iOS thing happens. So you can see that there are many tabs: the general, capability, resource tag, info, build settings, build phases, build rules. Basically, at the start, you don't need to touch them unless you are building very old apps, because as iOS development improves every year, a lot of things change in the background. So in this case, just now I asked you all to actually have a developer account is to set this theme. So you have to go to the settings, preferences, and then sign in your account to Xcode. So Xcode knows who you are. Then you can set. If not, this should be like, you can set to none. But you won't be able to deploy to any device then. Yeah. So you can choose the deployment target, everything. If your phone, you never update the OS, then you have to keep the older one. If not, you never get to publish to your iPhone. Yeah. Basically, this is just a very general page. So I'll move on to the app delegate. So what does the app delegate do? So it's basically when you press the home button when you're using an app, and you go into an app, these are all the functions that we call. So sometimes you want to call your server, say, oh, this guy, like you exited the Grab app, and after that you want to go into Grab, and then they tell you that, oh, you're online. So this is where they actually stop you. Because this is like a what's it called, singleton class, and then it can be accessed from everywhere. And basically, oh,
Yeah, again, some errors.
oh, what kind of errors?
They say that they failed to create provisioning profile.
Yeah.
Oh, do you sign into your
Yeah,
To my Apple account.
Sign into
okay? You have to click download all profiles and manage download all profiles. After you sign in, you have to click download all profiles. Sorry about that. Sometimes they change the settings every now and then secretly.
register. We download.
Okay, try the other. We go back to the settings.
Oh, just easy.
Manage
Plug in and select the data. I need to plug in.
iOS development. Okay, you go back. Okay. There are no devices registered on your account on the website. You have to plug in your device and then register. Yeah.
Do you have a thingy?
This.
Yeah.
Oh, I can lend you for a while by charging my phone. Yeah, I mean this is not very important yet because you can just deploy on the simulator, but Yeah, unless you're that anxious to develop on your phone. But yeah, by the way, because you all don't pay the 99 USD a year, right? Every app you deploy to your phone will die in 24 hours. So when you deploy to your phone, it only lasts for 24 hours. Then after that, every time you tap it, you crash. So every time if you want to show people, you have to run from your computer to your device, then you will work for 24 hours. So this is a way that Apple forces people to pay money. Yeah. Yeah. So Apple everything you pay money on. Yeah. And you have any other questions? No, I'll just move on. Okay. So this is a main storyboard. So every time you create a new project, there's this thing called main storyboard. So basically, this is where your UI of your application. So for example, this is the you chose a tab application, right? So this is the default template that actually given to you. So this default template actually has, you can very obviously first view and second view. And here's a little bit complicated and hard to understand at the start. So this refers to this, and this refers to this. So as you can see, it corresponds to the icons here. So if you change here, this will change. It's not that obvious because if you change, you can't really change it. It's just like, this is like a more overview of how it's going to look like. And this is called a tab bar controller. So there are many different view controllers, which I will go through one by one. And yeah, so what is info plist? So every time you install a new app, there's this pop-up and says, I want to collect your location, I want to collect your voice, all this. These are all the permissions that is set here. So these are all the default ones. So when you are going to develop, like maybe I want to get a location onto a map app, you will have to add in a string. You have to click where is plus. There's a plus somewhere. Yeah, when you click in, there will be a plus. Then you add in a new string that say that do you want to give location information. You can customize the string. Say, oh, I'm gonna stop you. You can write, do you allow? That kind of thing. And you can Google online like how when you are integrating map kits. Because Apple has many kits. So the default one that comes with is it's called a UI kit. So you want to use map kit, then you import the package. Okay, so let's explain things in theory first. So everything you see in this form, in the storyboard, like this shape, is called a view controller. So in each view controller, it has a view. So basically it's just a controller that controls a view. And so for now, you see in this shape, it's all an iPhone. And so each file has its own purpose. So basically, the first view controller corresponds to the first view controller you see there, and then the second belongs to the second. And you might be wondering, where is the tab bar controller? This is the magic of iOS. It's actually internally managed, unless you want to override a class and then put it into a custom class, and then after it point to that class, then you can control it. So I'm not going to demonstrate that because you just need the default behavior, unless you're going to do fancy animations, like when you press tab, something happens. Yeah. So after you create this new project, right, what do you actually work on first? So a lot of people will just touch the storyboard first. Like if you have a rough design, like you draw out how it's going to look like, then you meddle in that part. And then on creation of new project, these are all created. And then, so before we actually begin, I'm gonna work on the very first storyboard first, because storyboards can be a little bit confusing, but this is the most simple one. So every time you launch your app, there's this launch screen, right? So this is where it loads the launch screen, and it only contains a single view controller. Because you can only load a single view there. So you can go to launch screen of storyboard. Yeah. Okay, so after you are here, you can see this bottom right-hand corner. This is called the object library. There's a lot of many things you can explore here, but mostly you're going to only use this circle thing. It's called the object library. Then after that, you can just, it has everything you need to create a iOS app. It comes with all the default functions. So you can type anything you like maybe like you need an image, you type image view. So you just type the image view, and then you click there, and you drag it to the box. So once you drag it to the box, take note. So there's like two different hierarchies going on. So this is the file hierarchy. So in each file, there is a hierarchy in within it. This is supposed to be the XML, but it visualizes it very nicely for you. So as you can see, in each view controller, there's a top layout guide and a bottom layout guide. Basically, a top layout guide is basically where you're like, there's a bar on top and there's a bar below. But at the default one, it doesn't have anything. You can add anything there, and then it will not be part of your view. So most of the time, you work on the view. That's why when you drag it in, it actually belongs to the view.
So how do you manage to find the image view thing?
Oh yeah, you go to here, you click this one, click here, type image view.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can type anything there. Like you want to put a text there, type label. You want to type text field, type text field. Whatever you type, if it appears, means you can use it. So for now, like most people, they'll put one image view and one label. But yeah, I'll go about that later. So like as I said, you want to put an image view. But how do you actually put images into your iOS project? So you see there's this assets blue color folder here. So whatever image you need, you take from your computer, drag into this folder, and you create an asset here. So why do you need to do that? Because everything you drag into this, they will be created in 3 different resolutions: iPhone 4, iPhone 5s, or iPhone 7. So now you see 3 boxes. In the future, there will be more boxes. So it's an account for all the different devices. So the newer your phone is, you have to put in a better asset. So for example, this designer give you an icon that's 15 × 15. So you need to give it 3 sets. They give 15 × 2 and another × 3, and to put it in. This is just because all your devices have Retina screens, so they'll process it at 3 times or 2 times the resolution, which if you put the number 1x in, it will be pixelated on your phone. So to prevent that, you have to put in 3 different ones. But for today's exercise, you just need to put 1x because it will not be obvious on your computer screens. Yep. So you can just drag in anything here. I mean, I'm just dragging a sample icon. You have any picture, go Google Images, just download. So you can right-click the region there. You can even open. So now you see the universal. Once you right-click, you can even show specific assets for iPhone or iPad. So sometimes like the iPad version doesn't have the word below the image. Sometimes it has. So you can set custom settings in this asset catalog page. This is something also new that they actually introduced 1 or 2 years ago. So previously you need to manually drag the image into the Xcode project, and then you have one whole folder full of images. But now it's all managed by this catalog. Yeah. So just now, okay, going back to the launch screen.storyboard. So you notice there's this arrow here. So this arrow is called the entry point. So for example, there are many storyboards. So when you launch the app, right, the first thing the app does is it goes to the launch screen storyboard and find where's the entry point, and then load the view controller that's been targeted by the point. And then now I'm gonna introduce you all the inspectors. So like to learn Xcode, you have to know that there's a hell lot of buttons everywhere. There's like 30 different buttons in one editor, but you must know like what each of them does. So here you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a lot, right? So these are the different navigators. So here these are all the different inspectors, and these are the different libraries, and these are all the constraints, and these are the zoom, and most of them are just filters here. But so just now I told you the object library, which is the first thing you're gonna use. Now I'm gonna tell you what's the attribute inspector. So attribute inspector is the one right in the center. So you can as I listed out. So here are different names for all 6 of them. To know the names, you have to put your mouse over there for 3 seconds, then it will appear. I know it's stupid, but it works that way. And so now you click on the image view, and then you click on the image view, then you click on the attribute inspector, which is the 4th one, and you can see that all the fields will appear. So you see there's a drop-down list. So in the drop-down list, it will show all the images that you have actually included in the assets catalog. So you can simply add any image from your catalog to your app. Different image. This is class for like different. Now because like for example, a more complicated apps, you can class app to account for different devices. So for example, you want the iPad to load a different image, you click there, then you appear. Yeah. So you must take note. So it's very important now to understand that this image view must be inside the view component of the view controller. If it appears somewhere else, you realize that you can see it here, but you will never see it on your app. Okay? So now everything is like created. So after adding our own image, it will appear like this. So the image view will change its name to the image that you have changed to. So let me explain. An image view contains an image. So in iOS, everything must be a view that you can contain something. So maybe a UI label is considered a view that has a text. So you must understand this concept because when you want to retrieve the image, data itself is in the image view dot image. But if you want to control the view, like its position, you have to go to the image view. So yeah, basically, okay, then you click on the fifth one. That's the size inspector. So you can see all the four coordinates, all the coordinates and the width and height there. So how does the coordinate system work? It's actually from the top left corner. Then after that, it moves. So as you can see, it has now it says 0, 0 because I'm not clicking on anything. So if you click on the image view itself, it actually shows you the number, like where it is, depending on where you're dragged to. Okay. So now, usually a launch screen has an image and a text. So now you can drag a label, search for a label, and drag it to maybe just a little bit below it, and then type something there. Then you click back to the attribute inspector again, and then change the name. Right. I mean, you can type in anything you want. Okay. So once you're done, you see the top left corner here. So this is where you run and test your app. So you first of all you click onto the name of your project, which is then after that you click on the device that you want to run on. So see which device you want to run on, you just click run. I mean click play, sorry, but it's called run. The shortcut is Command R. Yeah, so you wait for a while, the simulator should come out. Yeah. I mean, at this point of time, if you have any errors, do tell me.
How do you add a custom image?
Custom image.
Like your thing is it an image or?
Yeah, it's an image. So okay, basically I'll tell you all again. So you know in this SS catalog, you just need to drag any image file from your computer into this blue folder. Yeah.
You want the link break.
No, it doesn't break. It creates a copy. It clones it. It clones a copy and then it renames your image file as .xassests xcode asset. So when you drag in, right, nothing happens to your original file.
So I can text code.
You can delete it. No worry. You won't. Yeah. Then after that, you click in and you appear from a drop-down list and just add the image. Yeah, so once you reach this stage, right, you can.
So sorry. After adding the blue folder, how do you put it in?
Or you go. Yeah, you go to this. Okay, I repeat. You click this image view, then you go to the fourth one. At the top, there's an image there. Then there's a drop-down list.
Okay.
Yeah, then you click from there.
Yeah, it's a launch screen.
I mean, Xcode is very confusing at the start, but once you use it for a year, you pretty much know where everything is.
Launch screen.
Okay, no more issues, right? Okay, so here's the next complicated part. So just now you drag it directly to the view controller, right? So now once you launch it, right, it's in this fixed position. So for example, today you run the app, you try the different simulators. Now I'm running on iPhone 7 Plus. You can run on iPhone 7. You see that it's not centered. So how do you actually center this image view and the text? So this is where Apple invented this thing called constraints. So in Android, they use this thing called relative layouts, where you set a percentage, you say that how many percentage is it from this and that, and then you have to manually calculate. But for Apple, they invented this auto layout concept where you can just, it's super hard to actually understand what the code is doing, but if you understand the concept of like a rules, like how it must respect certain rules, then it's actually pretty simple. So when you put a constraint there, it might not seem that it's working, but when it's on runtime, it actually works as intended. So here, okay, let me get started. Click image view. You go to the bottom right hand corner. On the second and the third one, they are the constraints handler. So you, for now, we want to center it, right? So you click on the third one, and then you click on the third one. This thing appears called horizontally in container. So if you want to horizontally, then you why are there values beside it? Is how many pixels you want it to be off from the center. So if you want to 1 pixel down, 1 pixel up, then you can put -1 or you can put 1. So you click the constraint, and hit horizontally in container, and hit add one constraint. You realize that it immediately shows you this error and say that, oh, I need constraints for Y position. So in iOS, your constraints must be set to for it to be able to determine an X and Y position. So previously, if you don't set any constraint, you take all the hard-coded values you have set in the size inspector on the 5th tab. So now, because we are setting an image for this.
Yes, we're going to do the constraints part again.
Okay, so you go to here. Second one here. Yeah, I actually highlighted it here, and no problem, right? Okay. So now I'm trying to explain. Once you hit add constraint, you see a red color sign there. So you're like, where's the red color sign? It's actually, yeah, here. I will kind of realize that I clicked in too early. So a red color dot will appear. Then you click inside the red color dot. It'll show you that there's a missing constraint. Okay, so far, so good. So why are these missing constraints? You need. So wait, what this means you must tell the iOS, you must tell Xcode how far away do you want your image to be from the top of the screen. So that's where you click on the next one on the constraints tab. So the first one that you see the constraints are basically percentages, like I want to be horizontally centered, I want to vertically centered, what are the alignments. But here are all the, like more of the fixed values. So for example, I want it to be 271 pixels away from top. So you click it, you click the red color dotted line here, you click once, then you be valid, then after that you click this one. So in this case, we also want it to have a fixed width and height. So you click width and height, then you hit add constraints. Then you will add a constraint in. So yeah, I skipped a step again. So basically, I explain both at the same time. So you add in the constraint. So for example, if your image has a very fixed width or height, I mean, that's a definite width or height that you want, then you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to set a width or height. So for example, sometimes you have an image that has a lot of white funny spaces. You click the image view, and then you can do the content mode here. And you do an aspect fit or aspect fill or all the different kind of image content mode settings. Then you can set the width or height. So in this case, I'm just demonstrating that you can actually hard code this width and height over here. Yep. Are you okay with that? So now, once you set that, right, you can run in the different simulators. You realize that it will be forever centered now. So now we actually only did it for the image view. So the text is still misaligned. So how do you actually make it both align to each other. So this is the first method of actually adding constraints. So this is the method where it's more high level. So if you want to set it to a very relative way, here's the second way. So just by control clicking the one object to another object, you can there will be this gray color box that appears that actually tell you what kind of constraints do you want. Okay, so now you click on the label, control, click, then you drag to the image view. This thing will appear. So you can try first. Control, click, and drag the label to the image view. So basically, just now what we did, right, for the image view is whatever settings we hit on here is in relative to its parent, because you are setting in its container. And now, because the label and the image view are in the same hierarchy level, you can set relative to each other. So once you drag and hold there, you can just say, oh, I just want it to be, there's some vertical spacing between each other. So click on vertical spacing, and then the vertical spacing constraint will appear. So if you want to change the constraint itself, you can click on the constraint. But basically now you just set it just like that as of now. If you want to change the constraint, you have to change here. So there's a constraint tab. The constraints over there. And you have to understand that each UI object in Xcode has a different set of rules. So for example, labels, you don't need to set a width and a height because they are actually self-sizing, because the more text you type, it actually expands itself. Unless you want it to truncate at a certain width, then you set a fixed width, then all the text that overflow will be replaced by a dot. Yep. So just now that I mentioned, right, you need an X and Y position. So just by putting the vertical spacing, you actually gave it its Y positions. So how much do you want it for its X position? You want it to be also horizontally aligned with its top object. So you actually control drag it again to the image view, and then hit center horizontally. So it will respect all the rules, because the first object says that it will center horizontally to its container. The second object says that it will center horizontally to its to this image view. So it obeys all the rules and everything will be centered. So this is a faster way to do it, but it's not as obvious because you can't set the values. You want to set the values, so you click there to set the values. But if you go to the right bottom, you can set the values, but you cannot set where is it exactly relative to. So it depends on what kind of conditions you want to do it. So yeah. So now if you run your app now, and then you see everything is centered and all in place. Okay. As of now, anyone has any issues you want me to help you debug and explain more in detail, because this can be very confusing because sometimes you add one extra constraint and you don't know how to delete the constraint, your whole app can crash. Then you have to delete all the constraints and reset the constraints again. Because constraints can be added indefinitely, and then let's say I set it to a fixed width of 50 and height 50, but I can set it again to 60 to 60. The app will not realize which one to obey. And then it keeps going up with a yellow warning, a red warning, and then they'll say conflicting constraints. Then you have to delete one of them. But sometimes you don't know where it is. Then you have to delete everything and then do again. So every time you add a constraint, you must make sure that you know what you're doing, and then it does not conflict one another. So like, for example, you already set the X position with the horizontal center. You do not set a fixed pixel from the left. Just now you see that there's 4, right? And once you set a horizontally X already, to horizontally, you do not set in the left color, the 146 there. Do not set any value there. It will conflict, and then it does not know which one to obey. So have any issues now? Okay, yeah, you can take a break. I need a break.
I lost you.